Welcome to Fitzan's Property Exchange, hosted by Pearl Scheltema, designed to keep you informed and captivated about the South African residential property market. Subscribe to our channel today and enjoy conversations with some of the most influential, innovative, and interesting industry experts, stakeholders, and scheme executives as they render input in today's property market.
Good morning once again to Fitzan Estates Property Exchange. I'm Pearl Scheltema, and today I have a very interesting guest, and I'm sure you're going to find this information totally to fit your needs. I'm speaking today to Kyle Bohnsack. He is the MD of Blockpower, a solar company that specializes in off-grid solutions. Kyle has a long history in the solar industry in South Africa. He was part of the sector right from the beginning, designing, manufacturing, implementing, maintaining hybrid and off-grid renewable energy systems across multiple sectors within South Africa. And guess what? His first installation, almost 13 years ago, is still up and running. What an achievement. Kyle, welcome to Fitzan's Property Exchange.
Fantastic, Pearl. Thank you very much for having me. I'm excited.
All right. Before we kick off with the questions, some might know, some might not. I'm one of those that doesn't know too much about this. Don't you just want to give us a definition of exactly what solar energy is?
All right. So, Pearl, solar energy and renewable energy, for that matter, these systems can consist of different sources of energy being generated from alternative sources such as solar, wind, and hydro power. These systems can generate this energy at different times of the day or night, be stored in different types of energy storage devices such as your battery systems. There's multiple energy storage systems on the market available. However, your general system a solar system would generate power during the day, offsetting your consumption at home or at your business. It would then store that energy into batteries for utilization in the evenings, and effectively offsetting your entire consumption or a part of your consumption at your home or business. There's many different types of technical solutions out there that can confuse users. Many different companies jumping on the bandwagon to provide a solution, and yes, you definitely need to be very careful about how you go about renewable energy.
Okay, so us in the residential industry, sectional title, full title, if we receive a request from one of our clients saying we require quotations for this as an option, is this what Blockpower does? They go out to the site, they make an assessment and then a suggestion and obviously a quotation as to what the cost would be.
Correct, Bill. This is certainly an interesting sector, up and coming sector. There are a lot of these solutions that are becoming available. Certainly fit the application. And yes, we definitely capable of putting these solutions together for the residential developments. And it is becoming more and more straightforward. We've got quite an extensive history in providing renewable energy systems for residential developers or residential developments. And yes, we can certainly assist.
Okay, and of course, load shedding, wonderful load shedding. I just received a call yesterday from one of my clients saying, okay, this is a high-rise building situated in Wonderboom, South Pretoria. We have 2 lifts and we have load shedding and we have disabled people and old people not being able to climb chairs. Won't you please investigate, get us a generator just to operate 1 lift? Gee whiz, the cost involved. So yes, if you could buy or Blockpower could provide the solution, that would absolutely be awesome. So, why should residential developments consider solar energy?
Look, I just wanted to say first that load shedding is certainly our cheapest form of marketing. That's certainly a big help.
It helps.
Look, when it comes to residential developments, we have to first look at what a residential development has that we can compare to other sectors. And some of the unique points here are that a residential property on its own, does not benefit from economies of scale. You're a singular homeowner or tenant looking at purchasing a system. That can be quite challenging, cash-wise. So, but when you're teaming up as an entire residential development, with 100, 200, 500 units, we start looking at these economies of scale and a more centralized type of solution that depends more on the balance sheet of the development as a whole rather than you as an individual.
Okay.
This certainly gives you a much bigger purchasing power and will attract more established renewable energy companies to provide a solution. So when considering it, there's a few factors here that are mainly the economies of scale. Second to that is a solution to reduce energy consumption during the day. Next is to reduce energy consumption at night, to clean up your power supply. That dirty energy supply that we currently have, where we have flickering lights and so on that don't allow all of our equipment to last as long as it really should. What says on the label in terms of a warranty, a lot of that is happening due to the dirty electricity supply that we have.
That's quite an interesting reference, dirty electricity. I'd never heard of that before.
It's a more user-friendly term than the technical, but yes.
All right. So what are the different types of systems?
All right. So we generally classify it into two different types of systems. One is what we call a grid-tied solution.
Just repeat that. A grid-tied.
Grid-tied. So grid-tied. So that means your system is tied to the grid.
Okay.
It's dependent on the grid supply being available and will only operate when the grid supply is available. Okay, or the utility is available. So this system is mainly used to reduce your power consumption during the day. In a residential setting, however, you don't necessarily have a large consumption of power or energy during the day.
Yeah, true.
So this is where we start, and in the event of a power failure, your system would turn off. You would not have any form of backup power whatsoever, and you'll have a large solar system sitting on your roof. And where this brings us to option 2, which we call a hybrid solution. Now, generally, there's a lot of misunderstanding around this. You talk about hybrid system, partially off-grid, but all of this fits into one criteria, which is a hybrid solar system. Now, with the system, we generate energy during the day from solar. We store that in batteries throughout that period, and then we utilize that power off of the batteries during nighttime for your peak periods when you are consuming high amounts of power, and of course when your low usage periods late at night. This means that you have the ability to offset anywhere from 50% to even 100% of your consumption on the development. So depending on exactly how you're wanting to design the solution and what is affordable and what works, that's your range of savings available.
Okay, let's talk about design. So I'm picturing a high-rise scheme in Pretoria, anywhere, where obviously the equipment needs to be installed on the roof. So where will the batteries go that you store this energy in?
All right, so we have various ways that we install these battery solutions. We usually have a small dedicated building or in a garage or generally one singular parking space. whether that be inside or outside. An outdoor solution would consist of when we talk of a containerized battery solution, it's generally quite a pretty one.
Okay,
not your industrial look and feel.
So how big is this?
So a containerized solution would range from 3 meters up to 12 meters in length.
Wow, okay.
So your standard shipping container would be the solution. And that would be your central battery that feeds your entire development, all of your essential loads within your development. So it wouldn't feed the likes of your geysers or aircon units, but would feed everything else. Wi-Fi,
okay, like in my example, the lift.
Yes. Right. So your lift, the lift is quite an interesting one. It is a relatively high load.
Yeah.
It has a high startup current, which we would call it, and the systems that we put into place are more than capable of dealing with that, if that is what is considered an essential load. In this regard, being a lift, we would certainly put that onto the system as an essential load. So,
okay, and so would gates and electrified fencing and all of that.
Correct. All your security systems up and running, your Wi-Fi, your lighting, emergency lighting, your general appliances, microwaves, etc. That would all be running off of the system in the event of load shedding.
Okay. So, how does a body corporate go about finding a suitable solution for their problems? Would it be the procedure I suggested earlier? Phoning your company, saying this is what we require, you coming out doing an assessment?
Correct. So how we go about this as Blockpower is we would install a metering device onto the premises for a set period of time. We would collect the data in terms of your peak consumption. We collect data in terms of your lifts, your lighting circuits, and your essential loads. We then look at least a year to 2 years worth of bills for the development.
That's okay. So that's where our tasks come in. We need to provide you with a average consumption charge.
Correct. That certainly helps with sizing the system and getting a very accurate accurate model together for you. And once we have that information, we utilize our programs and engineers to design a solution that's fit for purpose, and we provide you with a proposal in which is either a straight purchase, option 2, which I feel is probably the largest up and coming solution for this sector, which is a lease.
Is that possible? So you can actually rent the system?
Correct.
Okay.
So now we have the ability to provide the right solution from day one that alleviates your load shedding requirement or load shedding issues and reduces your consumption from day one. And these leases can range from 5 to 20 years. And you're not having to worry about any form of maintenance or any form of
Okay, so the lease agreement would include the servicing of the equipment.
Correct.
Okay.
So full turnkey design, supply, and installation, as well as the operation and maintenance of the plant for the duration of time that you're looking at.
Oh, that's great. I didn't know that option existed. Thank you for that. So, what my clients want to know is what savings can be expected for a body corporate at the end of the day.
All right. So, based on systems that we've implemented for residential developments in the past, we have savings, or our customers are experiencing savings anywhere from around 30% on their electricity bill up to 90% on their electricity bill.
90, 90.
90, correct.
You'll have to provide me with proof of that. Wow, Kyle, that's awesome. So in other words, if they consider this option, then they could consider the cost for leasing the system in comparison to what they will be saving.
Exactly that. We try to match that up as closely as possible. When you get the sweet spot sits at around 60%. So when you're looking at offsetting about 60% or saving 60% on your electricity bill, then the solution provided, you end up paying more or less the same as what you are spending.
Okay, so this is a viable option. Wow, I'm very excited about this. Okay, how long does an installation take?
All right, so an installation for a new build, for example, we are able to manufacture and install much faster than a development can be built. So, generally we would follow on with the system on a monthly basis, depending on how quickly the development is being built. But as a retrofit solution on an existing development, it sits anywhere between 3 and 6 months for the installation. That's for a much larger installation of approximately 200 or 300 units plus. But when you're looking at the smaller developments, from 50 to 150, that installation can take anywhere from about 4 to 8 weeks.
Okay, that quick. All right. Let's use that same scenario. And this is what my clients want to know. Thumbs up. Scheme consisting of 30 to 100 units, high-rise building. What would the estimated cost be, more or less, to have this hybrid solar system installed?
All right. So I have my calculator in front of me. So that's between 30 and 100 units. What we're looking at in terms of a rental per unit, you would be looking at approximately 500 to 600 rand per month per unit for the solution, and that would save you in the region of about 600 rand per month on your electricity bill.
Wow, so that sounds awesome. I'm becoming more and more interested in this. We need to talk more. Okay, thank you for that, Kyle. And if my clients need to get hold of you, where do they contact you? Where are your offices situated?
Fantastic. We have our head office in North Riding in Johannesburg, as well as our manufacturing plants in Marlborough, Johannesburg, in Somerset West in Cape Town, as well as Durban in Pinetown.
Okay, so you basically service the whole of South Africa.
Correct.
Awesome.
You can reach us on sales@blockpower.co.za and contact us.
I just want to say Blockpower, BLOCKPOWER.
Correct.
Okay. And contact number?
And you can contact us on 010-300-0710.
Fantastic. Kyle, this was so interesting. And like I said, I'm really excited about this, and I'm very sure that my clients will be considering this, especially with this frustrating situation with load shedding. And this sounds like a solution, especially if it's not going to cost them so much more. They're making a saving and they're making a great investment.
Fantastic, Pearl. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Good. We'll talk again. Thank you so much.
Have a lovely day.
This was Fitzon's Property Exchange, hosted by Pearl Scheltema. Not only do we keep you informed on the very latest in the property industry, we also empower by expanding your knowledge base. Make sure to visit www.fitzon.co.za to find out more about sectional title scheme management, letting, sales and trustee training. Remember to subscribe to our channel and follow us on all our social platforms.